You know, the last time I filmed with my iMac webcam, I instantly regretted it because it renders in like 480p, but that's the kind of quality content we've come to know and love on this channel, so that's might as well just stay on brand. That's also a fucking mess back there. Yeah, that's awful, and it always looks like that, and I'm tired of pretending to be someone I'm not and cleaning my room before I shoot a video. I want you to see the fucking filth that I live in. That's how real we're getting today. Just no, it is what it is, okay? Per my last rambling session that we had together, I wanted to touch on some more things that have been bothering me when it comes to the creation of content and what's expected of creators before. You know, I've been avoiding the Creator app the way anti-vaxxers have been avoiding their local CVS pharmacy for like the past 2.5 years. And I thought I was done. Like, I was broken, I was beaten down. But now I'm over that feeling, because if there's anything I've ever been good at in my life, it's being controversial. So I'm back, I'm not much better, and I'm ready to unhinge and raise some hell. I had this, like big long script typed out, and originally I was gonna like drop a bomb before I fell off the face of the earth forever, and I was ready to end my YouTube career before it even started. But now that I'm mere seconds away from quitting my job and living in the woods, I figured, why not modify said bomb, drop it, and see what survives? Like, why not let this be a new beginning? My number one concern that's grown over the past few years is the current state of the internet. Now, I grew up on the internet, and it was during a time where it was deemed appropriate to ask one to simply off themselves just because they disagreed with a certain charactership. It was a time before the trigger warning, a time where a teenage girl drank bleach and took her own life due to online bullying, and then from the grave proceeded to become what I remember to be the first human meme, and then continued to be massively bullied worse than when she was alive. I'm not saying names because, for the love of God, that was awful. That poor girl deserves some peace. But it was the fucking Wild West out there. And today I wanted to tell you a few short stories based on what's been weighing on my mind. This internal battle that I've been fighting as a creator, and why I almost decided to pack it up entirely. And the miraculous story of what has recently saved it. And that is Stan Twitter. So, I know I've been MIA for months now, and that was never intentional. Even though it's a pattern, it's never intentional. But if you're as good at recognizing patterns as I am, I'm sure that by now you've realized this happens pretty consistently. I'll get on a kick where I have this burning passion for creating content, and I'll have all these ideas and scripts, and I'm just ready to share everything. Even right now, I still have about 4 months worth of backlog videos that at this point will probably never see the light of day. I thought I finally had this routine and like a schedule down, and I was so excited to finally pursue this dream that I've had since I was about 12 years old. And I know that I've told you guys my YouTube backstory before. This is not my first channel, it's just my first somewhat successful one, I guess you could say. But I've always wanted to be a YouTuber, and back in the golden days of YouTube, there wasn't, to my knowledge, a way to really make money. It wasn't a real job. It was really just a hobby, and the hope was either that you could create sketch comedy that was good enough to land you a spot on SNL or Nickelodeon, or that you could gain enough of a following to get a merch deal with Hot Topic. I'm looking at you, Fred. There was a partnership program eventually, but that was closer to like the late 2000s when that popped up, I believe. The YouTube I'm talking about now was like when it very first began. I think maybe like Anthony Padilla was one of the first people to get like a real deal with YouTube, and maybe that was a little earlier on, but that was like very hush hush. That didn't happen for a lot of people. There were some ads like on the sidebars, and I think it was rumored at the time that some of the larger creators were able to get paid by YouTube, but there wasn't like commercials or anything that there is now. I mean, I guess they're just called ads, but you didn't have like ads on your video to show as a status symbol for monetization the way you do now. It wasn't anyone's full-time job really, except for maybe larger companies like BuzzFeed and things like that, but even that was a little bit farther down the timeline. But all I'm saying is things were much different when I was growing up. YouTube and social media in general was a brand new thing. And it's cool because I was kind of there to watch it be born and grow into this hellscape that we know it as today. So I never put much thought into like the why or how. I just knew I liked making stupid videos with my friends. I like to talk because obviously I talk a lot. And I'm good at talking for the most part. And YouTube helped me so much with overcoming like my social anxiety. Very early on, like when I first started to make videos for YouTube, I realized that I often lack facial expressions when I spoke. And of course at the time I didn't know why. It took years of therapy to figure that out. But I would sit in the mirror and I would actually practice facial expressions that I saw from other YouTubers. And it's like, YouTube helped me with learning how to be a person, YouTube helped me learn how to mask, but that's another issue in itself. My lack of distinct human characteristics is a video for another day, but for now, I'm just trying to make a point. One thing that I love so much about YouTube, the thing that I feel like really drew us all to YouTube, was the tangibility. We could all be a part of this platform that was changing the way that the world operates. When I was a kid, and not that long ago, believe it or not, I remember looking at celebrities like on TV and in magazines, and I would go, oh wow, that's so glamorous. It must be so cool to be famous. I hope I'm famous one day. But like, I didn't take myself seriously when I said that, you know? When I had these thoughts, I didn't look at celebrities and be like, yep, that's a real human being right there. That's a person I can relate to. Because they weren't, you know? I mean, yeah, celebrities are real people. I get it, duh. But they were celebrities. They were untouchable, unattainable. To be like them was a 1 in a million chance. But then here came YouTube. You could be a niche micro celebrity, and what could be better than that? It was attainable, and it still is, but that very real possibility is going to be what I want to dissect today. Just like I have previously stated about 4.5 seconds ago, YouTube was more relatable. And as a society, we were all drawn to these YouTubers because they were us. They weren't some fancy schmancy billionaires with like Botox and 6 cars. At least they weren't 10 plus years ago. They were real people. They had their own opinions, their own thoughts. They worked real jobs. They went to school. They had families and friends and strengths and weaknesses that we all could see. YouTubers weren't 1 in a million. They were the majority. During the golden age of YouTube monetization, it was so nice to see these regular people that were just like us finally getting the recognition that they deserved. Like, I remember getting to see Jenna Marbles on TV, like when she had her first TV interview, and I was like, fuck yes, there she is. And back in the late 2000s, people would laugh at that. They'd be like, oh, who is this person? What is it they do? They have 1 million followers on what? Psh, that's dumb. Like, literally nobody gave one single shit. And when social media really started to take off, and suddenly everyone was a part of it, it was so cool. Like, the future was finally here. No longer will we collectively worship the untouchables. We can finally all band together and be a part of a community. Something that we're all included in. We can get our cut. But of course, eventually you end up with too much of a good thing, and we've made it to that point where these regular people aren't so regular anymore. These people make millions, they become household names, and we're back to celebrities. Instead of the latest issue of Entertainment Weekly, like when I was a kid, it's my niece looking at her iPad going, I hope I can be a YouTuber one day when I grow up. I want to be famous. And I know this sounds like I'm trying to make some sort of statement that's insightful about a generational divide, but trust me, it's really not about that. This is about me, because this is my channel, but we're getting there, don't worry. So you may or may not remember that I posted a video sometime, maybe last summer. I don't know when it was because I'm miserable and everything is one long day to me because I work retail. But this video touched on my brief taste of internet fame that I had back in 2019. I made my first scene wig, I snapped a pic, I captioned it RARXD, and my account blew up overnight. And I went from about 400 followers that were mostly, I don't know, family, friends, some dude I partied with in a trap house 1 million years ago and we just stayed mutuals for some reason. I went from that to over 10,000 followers in just a few short months. And I know at this point, in society, 10K is like rookie numbers, but to a little Miss Nobody from the holler out in buttfuck backwoods West by God, Virginia, that's a pretty big fucking deal. That platform is why I decided to give YouTube another shot, because I thought, oh wow, look at all these people, they love me. If I can just move them from here to over here, I can finally live my dream. I can quit retail. I can live the good life. And it's just too good to be true. Because it always fucking is, isn't it? And of course, that didn't entirely pan out, because even if this is the first video you've ever watched from me, which, why would it be? That would be a really fucking weird one to jump in on. Like, why are you here? Go watch literally anything else. Anyways, Instagram is a purely aesthetic-based platform. So I had this whole like scene thing going on, and when I got bored, so did everyone else. And you can take a quick scroll through my channel and see that I change up my look a lot. Not really like what I wear as much as how I wear it, but I can go from Farrah Fawcett to Belle Delphine knockoff real quick. And it's just something I've always done. I've always had such an interest in a variety of styles and fashions ever since I was a kid. I don't really have an aesthetic at all. I'd say I definitely have a personal style, and I'd say in my heart of hearts, I'm punk rock as fuck because I don't give a shit and I do whatever I want. But I can cover that later. It's not always necessarily cohesive, and because of that, Instagram wasn't really the platform for me because I was not what they signed up for. So they left, which is fine, and I know I romanticized that time in my life quite a bit, but at the end of the day, that shit was fucking miserable. Because even to this day, with a dead account that I don't even post on, people still, they'll come to my page and they'll see that I have about 5,000 left of like mutuals, bots, inactives, whatever. It's not real. And they view me as having a platform. And why is that negative? Because I'll tell you why this is negative, why this shit sucks. It's because they expect me to do something with it. Like, I don't even like to check my DMs anymore, because I'll get one that's like, hey, my best friend made this post calling me a bitch, so like, can you put this in your story and expose her for being a two-faced whore, because actually what she told this guy over here. And I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with me? Sorry, you have a platform, so you need to speak on this political event that you know nothing about. It's your responsibility as an influencer. Like, trust me, you do not want me talking out of my ass about whatever is going on that does not apply to me. Aren't you gonna talk about the controversy of this person? Because I saw that you liked one of their tweets. What tweet? Okay, hang on, let me go see. Oh, it was a picture of their cat. Okay, so we've made it to this point of progression where these niche micro celebrities aren't so niche anymore. These people are playing the big leagues. No one cares who you are or what you think or how you feel. All they see are numbers. That's all that's clicking in their tiny little brains. Oh, you had one video go viral overnight and now you have 2 mil? Well, now it's entirely your fault that somebody that watched your video robbed a bank. Hey, remember when you made that joke about robbing a bank and then one of your fans went and did it? That is on you. You're a terrible person. Like, that might sound wild and like an exaggeration to some of you, but that's really how these people think now. You lose all credibility of being the average because you are now above average. And you have a responsibility, a civic duty. You have to know right from wrong, and you can't step one toe out of line or it's all over. I'm going to tell you guys a short story about something that happened to me like a couple months ago. I mean, it's probably been a little bit longer than when I originally planned to make this video, but it's something that I'm still having trouble processing. And it's gonna sound absolutely fucking fake because who the hell am I? But I have witnesses. I have several witnesses. They were there. I can get them on camera. They can tell you all about it. Please believe that this happened to me, okay? So I was at work, you know, it was just a regular day, folding t-shirts, bagging purchases, whatever, and, you know, I'm just working, the usual. And this girl, and I believe she said her name was Hope, so Hope, if you're watching this, shout out to you. You fucking rock, love you twice. But she's, like, at the counter, she's buying her stuff, and I'm standing there, and she goes, "You're Coke and Red Rum, right?" And my fight or flight kicked in, first of all. And I was mildly confused, but I'm pretty well known locally because it's not like I lived in the biggest area, and I go pretty hard with the self-promo. Like, I've handed out flyers and things in the past. Everybody around here knows me. I'm kind of a celebrity in my area, if I do say so myself. Actually, I'm just kind of known as the chick with the mohawk that drinks PBR, but that's beside the point. Anyways, everybody around here knows where I work, so I didn't think too much of it at the time. So I'm like, yeah, that me. And then she proceeds to ask to take a picture with me, because she's like, I love your videos. Can I take a picture? And I thought it was a fucking prank, first of all. She wants to take a picture with me? With me? Little old me? Oh my god. And she was very respectful. She was like, I'm sorry, I know you're working. Like, if you feel weird, you don't have to. But I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll take a picture. Like, are you fucking kidding? This is, like, every small YouTuber's dream. Like, this is the moment that we work up to. Fuck yeah. I was so grateful and, like, so flattered. And, like, that's it. That's the moment everybody dreams of. And for a moment, she gave me my passion back. Like, because I think that this was before even my last video, like the Hot Topic video. Like, it was my last hiatus, which I think was like the longest one that I've had. And I really just accepted the fact that I was never going to post a video again. But like, that moment, it truly gave me my passion. Like, that was such a good feeling, knowing that I was able to create something that invoked a positive reaction in someone to the point where that person wanted to document and encapsulate that feeling. Like, it was absolutely fucking exhilarating. And then I got home and spent about 5 minutes on Twitter, and that feeling is gone. Every single fucking day, it is something new. It is someone new. Someone's career is over. Someone made a bad joke, a dumb tweet, an insensitive video, bad merch, bad friends, bad analogies. I'm not going to throw names out there because if I do, I'll be next. But during this time, I watched a stream where a very large creator had to explain the concept of an ironic joke to millions of people. Like, literally sat there. I'm not even joking. If you know, you know. They sat there. They had to explain the joke. Like, put up the tweet. Broke it down. Word from word. Like, just explaining. Giving you fucking definitions of words. They sat there, explained the joke, as well as how and why it is a joke. And look, sometimes irony is something that I even can struggle with. I don't always understand jokes, especially if the jokes are spoken as facts. Like, you can tell me anything and I will believe you. But they were literally explaining the concept of irony to millions of people. Like, it was so obvious that even I knew that it was a joke. Like, even I have a grasp of the concept of irony as a whole. Like, I was so dumbfounded, and still, at this point, I cannot wrap my mind around what the disconnect was. And then it was also really sad because I think when this joke was made, that creator was forced to, like, come out, which is never fucking cool. Like, people do that shit when they're ready. Like, you don't force that on somebody. Like, mind your own fucking business. This is not a world where you're straight until proven gay, okay? Like, no, that's not how this works. But that precious moment that sweet, sweet hope gave to me was almost instantaneously ruined by the afterthought of what comes with having a platform. And I don't want any part of that. Like, first of all, I just want to personally say to Hope, if you're watching, I hope you're watching, I just want to say to you, I hope I did not, let me try to make eye contact for the first time in my life. I hope I did not come off as rude or disinterested in any way, because I absolutely was not. That was the best moment of my life. I mean, I guess aside from when Steven proposed to me. No, fuck him. It was even better than that. But just so you guys know, if you ever do meet me in person, I am not going to be what you see on camera. It takes a lot of coffee and drugs for me to get to this level of energy. I know you hear this from large creators a lot, but it is especially true for small creators because we are not expecting this at all. Like, I am so fucking awkward. I don't know what to say ever. When I drop the mask that I'm forced to wear every day, that's what the mask is. Okay, I literally do not know how to function, so I just want to make that perfectly clear. That doesn't mean don't speak to me ever. Just don't expect, well, anything really. Everything I do, including my videos, 9 times out of 10 is scripted, like word for word. Even the ad lib was typed and practiced before I turned on this camera. And fair warning, you guys have no idea who I am. And I don't even know who I am, if I'm being honest. That was very hashtag I'm 14 and this is deep. Okay, that was kind of a side quest of a rant, and that's over. But anyways, more recently, when I originally typed the script and modified it for how I'm feeling today, that same creator I was talking about getting canceled earlier got canceled again. And that really was the final straw for me. Like, yep, there's no hope for me. It's all over. And it's not about how they're like my fucking bias or whatever they allegedly did. It's not even about any of that. It was just, once I saw what they were being canceled over, it just blew my absolute fucking mind. Because there was absolutely no wrongdoing. Like, once I saw the allegations and then the proof of said there was just nothing to prove. Like, what are you talking about? And maybe I'm the asshole here, because honestly, I figured that it was going to be a stretch from the very beginning. Like, I am so sorry. And this may shock you. Bear with me now. But it is really easy to lie on the internet. I know. Take all the time you need. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. And as I was watching all of this unfold, I was just amazed at how quickly misinformation spreads. Like, misinformation and bad takes just spreading like absolute fucking wildfire. And then there was a chain over the next week of people continuously coming out about the same subject and calling this other person out for lying about this, and then speaking what they believe to be the truth, and then this person was like, actually, that's not the truth, this is what happened, here's these screenshots, and we ended up with like 8 different fucking people, and it was honestly the most fucked up game of telephone I've ever seen in my entire life, to the point where everyone's confused. And now I'm trying to be cryptic and give limited information here as to not immediately cancel myself for having my own personal interests, because I know that's illegal on the internet. You're not allowed to like things, especially if they're popular, you know, because God fucking forbid. But if you know, you know. You know exactly what I'm talking about, and I know that at least one of you statistically knows exactly the situation that I'm talking about right now. And if you're out there, you DM me on Twitter, let me know, and I'm gonna let you into my Stan alt account, okay? Cool. And I felt so alone during like this whole situation as it was unfolding, because I'm like, am I the only fucking person here that's seeing the full picture and like digging for context? If something terrible had actually happened, it's great that so many people are offering their support, right? Like, cool. But the problem is that everybody wants so badly to be on the right side of an argument. Everyone wants to be the good guy. And this whole non-issue turned into a fucking morality dick measuring contest. And it was the fucking social justice Olympics in here. Like, that's what social media has turned into. All issues are labeled in black and white. And there's no longer any gray areas. No one does research. No one asks questions anymore. You see a TikTok or a thread on Twitter, and then rather than collecting information and seeking context and considering the state or condition, you just run with it and you spread it as quickly as fucking possible. And if that's not enough, and if that's not working, here, let's dig up every single other little bit of past mistakes or false accusations that we can find to lay on top of it. If you don't want to cancel them for this, then you better cancel them for this. And oftentimes it's for no other reason than a person wanting to seem like they have the moral high ground, or to simply make them feel better about themselves. Or it's just a fact of, hey, I don't like this thing, so I'm going to make sure nobody else around me can enjoy this thing either. And it's just something that I cannot wrap my mind around, and it's fucking scary. Like, what happened to the whole just let people enjoy things? Like, why is it a contest? I've just watched so much shit go down with creators over the past few years, and we all have. And in the words of our Lord and Savior, Jenna Marbles, I don't think I'm having a good time anymore. That isn't what I want. I'm not going to expect things to ever change, because, I mean, they won't. Right now, I'm going to be straight up with you. I don't want to be a part of that fight, and I'm not going to throw out any more buzzwords like cancel culture, even though I've said cancel a million times in this video. I just don't know what other word to use. Words have lost all meaning at this point. But I am going to tell you exactly what I don't want going forward. I know we haven't fully established what this channel is going to be, but here's what is not going to happen, okay? Here are my demands if I'm going to continue as a creator. I don't want to have to be on my constant P's and Q's like a fucking Disney Channel idol. I don't want to be anybody's favorite or their PFP or the topic of their fanfiction. Actually, no, scratch that. Please write fanfiction about me. I will read it. I fucking live for that shit. You have my permission. Make it as gross and terrifying as you want and send me the link, please. I have Wattpad. I'm ready. What were you talking about? Oh yeah. I don't want to be expected to never interact or speak to anyone ever, or make a tweet defending myself because of hateful or false information, and, oh, well, you're gonna send a hate mob because you have a big following, and it's your responsibility to not be a normal human person and act out of impulse or passion or anger. Like, that's fucking stupid. You are asking too much. I don't want to commentate on current controversies or political events that I'm neither educated nor qualified to speak on. I don't want to make gray hoodie apology videos. I don't want to live my entire life in fear over being canceled or over buying a shirt from a company and also not doing a background check on everyone that works there and doing a full fucking 10 years of research on the history. Like, just let me buy the goddamn shirt, you know? Or because I made a joke that was in bad taste or maybe didn't age well. Because I guarantee there's probably already a few of those on this channel. I'm sure something's changed. I mean, maybe not, but who the fuck knows at this point? Like, I don't know what I tweeted when I was 13. Twitter just came out. I mean, it couldn't have been that bad because I'm pretty sure the character limit back then was like 10. That's not even an exaggeration. Actually, my first Twitter is gone. The Twitter I have now was made in 2011. That was my second Twitter. My first Twitter is long deleted. Thank God. It would just be a bunch of tweets about how hot Shane Dawson is because I was 13. Yes, that's what I was. That's who I was. You get what I'm saying here? Are we on the same page? But you guys get what I'm saying, right? Like, I don't want to be idolized or put on a pedestal or for people to strive to be like me. I don't want to be blamed for somebody else's problems or for anything I've said or done in the past to be used against me because of a completely unrelated event that occurred, because that does not sound appealing. Like, I know this probably comes off as like, I'm saying I never want to be held accountable, but no, I don't want to be accounted for, ever. I don't even want to fucking exist, but here I am. It's starting to get a bit redundant at this point. Like, long story short, you guys forgot the appeal of YouTubers as a whole. It's the fact that they're real people, and they fuck up, okay? They make bad choices. Most of them, you know, like the average content creator does not have a whole PR team telling them what they can and can't do. Most of them are quite young as well. And I don't know about you, but there's a lot that I learn every day. There are topics that in this moment I am so fucking passionate about that just a few short months ago I was completely ignorant about. I was the complete opposite of how I am now. And that's something I can go into later. But for example, I was a trans medicalist like last year, right? And now I use she, they pronouns. So that's like a big fucking jump, right? Like, people can grow, they can change. And we love YouTube because it is real, right? But for some reason, we expect these people simultaneously to be perfect and great and amazing, perfect people. Make it make sense. You can't have it both ways. And sometimes it happens. Sometimes these people really are just terrible, horrible fucking people. But why does that mean we can't, like, take things with a grain of salt and maybe even still enjoy the content? Now, look, I get it. A lot of you guys out there, you are fantastic people, okay? I love it. I love the passion that you have. You pay attention to who and what you support because you feel that it's a direct reflection of who you are as a person. But I'll be the first one to say it. I kind of fucking suck. I'm a little bit shitty sometimes. Now, I feel like I have good values. I worry about what I think matters, but I don't really care that Jeffree Star's shitty. He's always been shitty. Look, I was right there in the front fucking row when he was on MySpace being his absolute shittiest, you know? But he still got good makeup though, you know? And I'm not gonna say that if he drops something that I really want, I'm never gonna buy it again. Like, I don't know. And look, fast fashion is absolutely destroying the fucking planet. And sure, instead of dropping, I don't know, $60 in my store on a hoodie, I could save up and buy something that's beautiful and sustainable from a small indie designer. Because quality over quantity, right? But I won't. I probably won't. And did Shane Dawson ever jizz on his cat? Can I even say the words jizzed on his cat on YouTube? Fuck if I know, but you know what? Sometimes I'll go back and I'll watch the old Shane Garrett Drew adventure videos just because they're comforting to me. I really admire those of you that have a passion for the concept of support and focus on being the absolute best person that you can be, but I don't really care about that stuff. I just want to hang out and enjoy things. Because at the end of the day, do you know who I care most about? It's me. I care about me. I know who I am as a person, right? And if we can just completely ignore my contradictory statement from earlier, I know what I think is right and what I think is wrong. And if it appears that there's some sort of gray area that I can't seem to get a grasp on, I promise you I will go out of my way to educate myself on the subject, right? But I just don't care. I don't care about who or what said or did what and when, okay? I don't. Yeah, they suck. I feel you. But that video's still funny, right? That eyeshadow's still good. And I feel like we can pick and choose our battles with that. Like, it doesn't always have to be that deep. Because at this point, it's up to you as an individual, to formulate your own thoughts and opinions that you feel would best reflect who you are on the inside. I don't want to be watched with a close eye. I just want to hang out and have a good time and fucking vibe. I feel like I deserve that. I also just straight up don't want to work. Like, I don't want YouTube to feel like a job. I want my channel to be exactly as it is now. The neglected child that I continue to be a deadbeat dad to. I'll show up late every other weekend and once every 3 Christmases. Because I have a new, better family now. Consumption. I will continue to consume the content and worldly possessions that make me happy. And as long as I feel that I'm not actively harming another human being while I'm doing it, then I'm not saying I'm ever going to blow up and get big, because with content like this, that's very unlikely. But the odds are never zero, especially these days. So that's why I just wanted to get ahead of the game and put a stop to this before it even starts, and just cancel myself before anyone gets a chance to. And was this a really dumb video idea? Well, of course it was, but I have no regrets. I always like to be as honest as I can with people. So what are you gonna do? I don't know who someone was in their past or on a certain day, or even who they'll be like next week. I only know who or what someone or something is in that moment, right? I have a million examples I could use, but I'll just use like this personal one to kind of cushion the blow here, right? This is gonna get a little bit serious. No, it's not. I'm a fucking clown. Anyways, so for example, my school bullies, right? They were not just bullies, okay? They made my life fucking hell. In that moment, in the past, they were horrible people. I wanted them to die. I wanted to die, right? But none of that matters now, because I've been dealing with my own trauma, as you do, as an adult. But today, those same people, their mothers, their teachers, their nurses, yeah, that's fucking terrifying, isn't it? But that's not the point. Yeah, the fact that they are mothers and teachers, whatever, that doesn't excuse them from what they did to me. And to this day, I will be very open and vocal about what they put me through. But I'm not going to start a Twitter thread and ruin their fucking lives over it, because I don't know what kind of people they are today. I don't know what they've been through, or like what demons they were fighting at the time, and I think that everyone deserves another chance to change and educate themselves and move on. Obviously, depending on the severity of their actions, but I mean, this just isn't a very black and white subject. But what they did to me, I believe, you know, truly, that they also have to live with that. The only thing that matters to me is that they know that they fucked up, and I'm not going to keep rubbing it in their face that they fucked up. I'm just going to look for improvement. Like, some of them even apologized to me in my adult life, actually. One of them, arguably the worst one, we ended up at the same college together, and they literally, as soon as they saw me, they came up and apologized to my face. And I'm like, you're good. I can tell you've changed. You're a different person. Awesome. Cool. I'm never going to speak to you again because I'm getting triggered just looking at you. But that was very important what they did. It was very big of them to recognize their actions and come up and give me a formal apology, and then we can just go about our separate ways, right? Cool. And I don't have to like these people. I don't have to be on the sidelines rooting for them, but I can accept who they are and move on with my own life. And I just don't think some of you guys realize that pretty much everything that exists in this world is not 100% morally or ethically stable. If you continue to dig so deep into every single little thing, you're not going to be able to enjoy anything. And I just find a sick sort of irony. Remember irony, that word from earlier? I find a sick sort of irony in these kids that are tweeting about canceling somebody for XYZ. Meanwhile, their tweet was sent from their iPhone that was most likely produced in a sweatshop somewhere. Like, somebody recently, this was fun, somebody recently, not even recently, it was like months ago, but what can you do? They commented on one of my like really old Hot Topic haul videos, and they told me like, you shouldn't support this company because they did this and that. And I'm like, my brother in Christ, they are quite literally my employer. Trust me, I am painfully aware of every questionable and fucked up thing that goes on in that company. I live through it every single fucking day, right? I see the fucked up shit when it happens, and trust me, I do not agree with a lot of what goes on, right? That's why I'm miserable at work. But aside from these things that do happen, I find that Hot Topic does do a lot of great things that align with my moral and ethical values. Like, it's not perfect, that's for fucking sure. But there are a lot of great things about it in comparison to most other places that I could be working. And that's why I continue to work there. That's why we often need to pick and choose our battles. Right now, the rights of minorities and women and those in poverty, that is my primary concern, right? Like, that's where my morals and my ethics lie. The world is so fucked up, dude. It is so fucked up. And rather than being a miserable person, you know, I could give a fuck about what a Minecraft YouTuber said in a bad joke of a tweet, right? Like, if you spread yourself too thin and you work too hard to make sure that everything you touch and consume is 100% on the right side of what's being done, you're not going to have a very good time. Personally, I'd rather be painfully delusional about the whole thing. Like, I work in fast fashion. I'm personally helping kill the environment overall, like in theory, in the grand scheme of things. But I'm also providing a resource. Like, there are teenagers that want to be able to have fashionable clothing for school. Maybe their parents get clothing vouchers, and I can make that happen. And while it's not a perfect system, I rest easy knowing that I was able to help a child get clothing, maybe even at an affordable price. And I can improve their quality of life that way. And maybe I'll even take it a step further by working really hard and properly doing my job, and I can pick out like more simple pieces that they can wear for many years rather than just one specific top that won't be trendy after the semester. You get what I'm saying? Like, if we all make small changes and stick by our personal ethics, we can get to a place in society where everybody wins, but you can't expect there to not be any mistakes along the way. You know what I mean? And now on to how Stan Twitter saved my non-existent YouTube career, the moment we've all been waiting for. Now, I was ready to leave this video as it is and say my goodbyes because I'm sure I've already pissed at least 10 people off by now, but you know, it's illegal to have opinions on the internet. But remember that creator that I've talked about this entire video that I won't say the name of from fear of a hate mob? Yeah, so all this shit went down within a week, right? Like, all the stuff I talked about earlier, all that was literally so much happened in such a short amount of time. It was fucking wild. But within a week, I watched the die-hard side of Twitter slowly do their detective work. And they all put their little heads together, and they're like, wait a minute. This shit makes no fucking sense. What were y'all getting worked up about? I don't even remember. Like, this, I don't even get why I was mad. This is fucking stupid. And then everybody just, like, nothing ever happened. Everybody went back to their fanfics, their video edits, their photoshopping their ships, and it was like, it was just all fucking done with, right? And I'm like, if this person can survive their literal 12th fucking canceling of the year, if Shane Dawson can start a podcast and come out with another cash grab, if Jeffree fucking Star can move to Wyoming and sell yak meat, then I'm fucking golden, dude. I'm good. Because no matter how much you suck, someone out there thinks you're really interesting. And do with that what you will. It's probably a terrible way for me to look at it. It probably sounds like I'm fucking Satan himself, supporting the worst people in the world. But I found it oddly inspiring. Just like seeing everybody move on with their lives. It's... Now look, don't get me wrong, I believe in accountability, and I believe there are a lot of changes that need made in the world, and I believe that you are only canceled if you let yourself be canceled. But what I want you to take away from this video is that no human being on this floating space rock is perfect. Like, life is so fucking short, and I promise you, it only gets shorter as time goes on. So don't let yourself be scared to enjoy things. Whatever makes you happy, you know, like maybe, I hate that I keep using him as an example, but I feel like it's the best one we have to work with. Maybe watching an old Shane Dawson video makes you happy, or maybe being part of a Shane Dawson hate mob makes you happy. I think both are fine because neither of those things directly affect me as a person, right? And sure, that sounds selfish and it sounds shitty, but the world is selfish and shitty. It always has been and it always will be. We need to make changes to improve that, but it's just not going to happen overnight. And no matter what we do, not everybody is going to be on board with it. So love what you love, support what you support, unless you supported the overturn of Roe versus Wade, in which case you're wrong and fuck you very much. But that pretty much covers everything that I've been feeling the past few months. I'm sorry if you disagree, or if I worded something poorly, or if I just said Shane Dawson's name too many times and now you want me to kill myself. I will consider it. I'm sorry if I'm not this overly wholesome, lovely, amazing person you thought I was. But that's the thing. Human beings are all shit. Trust me, I've been trying really hard to pretend to be one my entire life. And I thought I was done with YouTube, but for me, I think the good outweighs the bad. Like, I'm just gonna keep making whatever content I want and posting it as I see fit. And if I ever fuck up, like if I really truly fuck up, I'll apologize for it, you know? But if it's something that I do that you just simply do not like, then you don't have to watch me. And it's that simple. So I'm gonna stay here for a while. I'm not gonna let that bother me anymore. I mean, I only have one life, and as shitty as I've treated my body over the years, it's probably not going to be a very long one, so I'm going to try to enjoy it while it lasts. So I'm done. Tune in 13 months from now when I decided to post another half-ass video with bad takes using the iMac I took out a $2,000 loan for a career that I gave up on before it even started. Don't subscribe, it's only going to get worse. If you like this video, dislike it anyway and give me a 3-page dissertation in MLA format as to why I'm a fucking idiot. My social medias will be linked below so that you can scrape up any dirt you can in order to cite your sources. Yes, I do need proper citations. This will be on the test at the end of the semester. If you hated this video, leave a death threat in the comments. I'll be sure to reply with some self-deprecating and slightly snarky remarks in a small attempt to clap back. If need be, you can find the information you need in order to dox me on my Twitter account. That's it. Don't have fun. Don't be safe. Nothing matters. Bye.